virgin, arable tracts of land, and many agricultural experts say that if it was exploited through mechanization, Uganda would retain its position as a leading regional food basket. Despite evidence that Ugandan soils are fertile in some parts of the country, people still depend on food rations. Government has attempted to deal with both structural, policy and practical challenges that still hamper the agricultural sector, but efforts such as the Plan for Modernization of Agriculture and the NADS, or the National Agricultural Advisory Services, have left many complaining. This month, the world will commemorate the World Food Day to heighten public awareness of food insecurity problems and strengthening solidarity against hunger, malnutrition and poverty. In recognition of the role that cooperatives play in improving food security and contributing to the eradication of hunger, agricultural cooperatives, key to feeding to the world, has been chosen as this year's World Food Day theme. Uganda, through the Ministry of Trade and Industry, has embarked on a campaign to revive cooperatives, which are credited for many success stories in the past. Around the world, cooperatives contribute to food security by helping farmers access information, tools and services that they need. This allows them to increase food production, market their goods and create jobs, improving their own livelihoods as well as raising food security in the world. Well, we expected to be joined by Honorable Tress Bucyanayandi, Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. He's been unable to come, and Mr. Alhaji Jallow, country representative in Uganda from the Food and Agricultural Organization. He too has been unable to come. So tonight we'll open the discussion to you listeners, asking the question: should government reintroduce cooperatives as a vehicle for poverty eradication and food security? I'll say that again. Should government reintroduce cooperatives as a vehicle for poverty eradication and food security? The lines we'll use tonight: 0414-348-111, 0312-260-390, 0312-261-390. I'll read those again: 0414-348-111, 0312-260-390, 0312-261-390. You can also send a text message to 7197. That is Spectrum message, question or comment. Send it 7197. We'll be looking at this topic in a broad format. We'll ask certain other questions. Is the government doing enough to help poor farmers? Also, has the NADS program been effective in aiding farmers transform agriculture? Should cooperatives be revived countrywide? The government is already working on that. Some people think NADS should be scrapped. The NADS program, which is an offshoot of the Plan for Modernization of Agriculture, has not worked very well, and they think it should be scrapped. You can call in and tell us what you think about that. We will also ask the question: do we have enough use of fertilizer countrywide? Some people think our soils are fertile enough, and we don't need fertilizer, which will raise prices and might have some side effects. We'll also ask the question: do we have enough use of pesticides countrywide? Also, should government introduce genetically modified foods? Are we spending enough money on research? We have several cultural research stations. Namlonge, we have one in Kawanda, and others in Bucyanayandi. We'll ask that question as well. Should government also give villages free handheld tractors to replace handheld hoes? Also, is Uganda's agriculture ready for transformation? In the meantime, we look at some of the facts that pertain with regard to agriculture. Agriculture is the most important sector. It employs most people. More than 80% of our farmers work on farms. Half of this, more than half of that, are smallholder farmers. So we would like you to tell us what do you think government should do to boost agriculture. Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling.
Thank you.
Good evening to you. Your name?
This is Haruna Kaiwa.
Haruna Kaiwa.
From Machiso.
Yes.
I recommend the government to reintroduce cooperatives. Because in the recent years when cooperatives were still existing, paying good prices to farmers' products was existing. Farmers could grow crops, they could be given good prices for their commodities. But today, you find that a farmer grows pineapples like at our here. I can hear farmers selling pineapples at 500. You can imagine when he has invested in the crop production heavy. Next thing, I can look at it if we can introduce cheap and viable agricultural implements through cooperatives that can be accessible. Now, you find the farmers in the region they could crop deep, but because without guidance through cooperatives, farmers just crop crops anyhow. So, it's very important that cooperatives are introduced in Uganda to fight against poverty and suffering. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Haruna Kaiwa in Wakiso. We'll be looking at some of the other facts. Yes, we have a large number of households involved in agriculture. Spectrum, hello?
Edmond.
Yes, your name?
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, Edmond, my name.
Yes.
I have a background of being raised from a farm-related family, and I know what cooperatives mean, especially at the time when we were growing up. Growing up in a time when maybe government scared for day-to-day people's well-being. Said and done, not very long ago, I think the brother of the president talked about walking tractors. That should have been done a campaign. 5 years down the line, they have never appeared, and Ugandans have continued to move on with the horse. But what is the essence of the cooperative movement? The cooperative movement really is supposed to show us empowerment of the so-called people you call who are peasants in agriculture. Now, if you don't want to empower them, where are you sending them? Where do you want their destiny to be? It means you want to confine them in their subsistence level and not development at all. If you look at the speech that was read yesterday, where we were told agriculture is key and therefore we should do much, how much have we done in the last 25 years? We scrapped the cooperative movement because we thought it was UPC-led and it had chairmen, and therefore it would undermine our new revolution. Has it changed? Helped our people? I think we need to go back to the drawing board and be honest to Uganda that there were some mistakes made earlier. Now, the few successes that we have, you know very well there is one surviving one, and another one, I think, in Nyakatonzi, which wants to keep its head afloat. But it's not easy. It's not easy because in the last 25 years, the middlemen have eaten up the ground that was meant for the goodwill of the cooperative movement. Now you're talking about a World Food Day, and you're talking about a theme which has in quote something to do with cooperative.
Yes.
Surely, let's be honest. If we wanted people to be okay, to be well off, even earn the 20 million that we promised to buy a nut, which nuts I'm told actually recently there was a change of name. I don't know whether you have those records updated.
What's your information?
Nuts is supposed to be extinct. There's supposed to be something new. Now, in that confinement of confusion, tell me, what does the peasant know? The peasant will just be kept at bay. Today they tell him grow Bucyanayandi. Bucyanayandi is those small
silkworms, I think. Silkworms, yes.
Silkworms?
Yes.
Now, next time there's no market. Then they tell you, you grow vanilla.
Yes.
Then there's oversupply. Then you are told, you know, Malaysia, was it Malaysia or one country in the African Indian Ocean?
Yes.
The harvest was poor. Therefore now you see it has changed. Now, without any clear focus, what do you expect the peasants down there to do? And now you have denied those peasants proper education, meaningful education. You've told them how your kids will go to UPE. UPE, we all know, you Edmond, if you have kids, you don't send them there.
Yes.
Why? Because I know there's a raw deal. But to sum up my submission, I think that we need to be honest to Ugandans. After 50 years already, Jimmy should not be calling on radio to remind responsibility to a state that collects taxes, huge taxes. Because we are told when we were at 1986, maybe it was 16 billion that was being collected. Today we talk of trillions. I saw the figures on TV and I was like, oh my God. Do we have our priorities right? Or are they upside down? Somebody should be honest somewhere. But me and you, who have little children growing up, should point at those things. They have to liberate themselves. Let's give them education.
Yes.
One day they will reclaim the right.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much indeed for that insightful contribution. Spectrum, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your name?
Sir, my name is Tress I'm from the Farmers Media Group.
Yes, Grace.
Thank you, Edmond, for the topic. And first, I would like to clear the air by telling you that the previous speaker said NAS has changed names. I think he's talking about a program called ATAS, which is basically just a project going to work in a few districts and looking at a partnership between research and extension, trying to link research and extension funded by World Bank. I don't think that has changed yet. However, getting back to the theme of the day, I'm quite worried that we should first ask ourselves what led to the collapse of the cooperatives. Edmond, you'll agree with me that in this country, people are trying to do everything that is related to cooperatives, and everybody has changed the way they do it. They say we are organizing farmers into saving groups. Even nuts today, it has over 2 million, 3 million farmers, and these are organized in small groups which have savings, which make decisions together, but they're only trying to change the naming the notion of saying these are cooperatives, these are not cooperatives. Then we have another problem where you think that farmers themselves have not been united to produce for this country. Farmers have continued to be disintegrated up to today. They are not empowered. To be called a farmer is the last thing everybody wants to be. You cannot stand up to say, I'm a farmer, and everybody will say, hey, Edmond, Radio 1 is a farmer. I think farmers are not empowered enough, and that is our challenge. Whether we have cooperatives or not, the farmer, if he's empowered, we can still feed this nation, and we could change to mechanization. It is about the will and the farmer being excited to move this country. In the 50 years down the road, we are talking about reforming cooperatives. Why don't we change approach? Why don't we try to this is International Year of Cooperatives declared by the United Nations. Why don't we have intersector cooperation to make sure we move the farmer to the next level? I'll give an example, my brother. You realize that we have Ministry of Trade and we have Ministry of Agriculture, and the Department for Cooperatives and Uganda Cooperative Alliance are still in the Ministry of Trade, and these are totally different sectors now, and it becomes a problem for Ministry of Agriculture that is working with farmers to empower them to make sure. The Uganda National Farmers Federation, for example, it should be the apex body for farmers that is trying to empower them to have cooperatives again. It's a civil society organization, non-government organization, and this has not also come out because there are different kinds of organizations, different kinds of people are doing different kinds of things. So if we're talking about increasing productivity, improving agriculture, increasing advocacy, because that is important, advocacy, so that we have more funding to the agriculture sector. If we're talking about increasing issues to do with empowering the farmer, then there should be a clear guideline in the National Development Plan on how to move the farm and to unite farmers with another group. Thank you very much.
All right, Grace. Thank you very much indeed. We also we have information obviously that NADS is basically only being restructured, removing the provision of inputs so they can concentrate on the provision of advisory services. Spectrum, hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir, your name?
Good evening.
Sorry?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir, your name?
My name is
Yes, talk to us, sir.
I want to congratulate the farmers and the ones about to do. But the first thing I want to thank the previous speaker. What we need to do now is to actually ask the government to implement the national development plan and also encourage and encourage some of the things they want to do and put in the right way. First of all, the biggest problem we have is implementation of as a program and normally first we still are open to better, but there's lack of implementation. When you look at the cooperative alliance, the Uganda Cooperative Society, and the Farmers Association, there is lack of coordination as far as developing to empower farmers. Now, even the ministry, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and other government relevant authorities that have coordinate these programs like finance and current, they are not coordinated. Now, we need to mark 60 years of the employment. I had Madam Kata, who was calling you the second student. We still have students in Uganda. And because I am intellectual, I believe that someone that is of this radio, you need to give ideas that can empower this age. Because the same thing that we not help, what we need now is to add more perception, put more money in agriculture, put more effort, so that whatever at the farm council level, at parish level, the farmers are empowered.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Awere. Spectrum, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, your name?
I'm calling from Uganda. Thank you for bringing that dedicated topic. First and foremost, agriculture is our backbone. And the way forward is not only, we should not look at the government, but we as people, guys in private sector, guys who have achieved some education. How can we improve? You know that at least 80% are peasants. Just we have to encourage the peasants to utilize the small land they have to grow some for consumption and some for sale. But when you talk about tractor, look at our terrain and look at around maybe in Uganda, what areas can use tractor? There are very few areas. Roads are being sold.
Well, but you can use handheld tractors. You can use handheld tractors.
No, let us just think of the whole. Let us don't go to do the very expensive things.
What do you mean we should stick to the whole? Is that good?
Like the whole, then people will get money from selling their product, they will buy them. But if you expect from the government, you are scoring in the wrong way. Thank you.
Well, and that's going to be a bit controversial. People are looking at transforming agriculture. You cannot transform it using the handheld hoe. Productivity levels are very low. The handheld tractor, which is motorized, would cultivate half an acre or even an acre in a day, I have been told. Spectrum, hello.
Yes, please. Good evening.
Good evening, your name?
Yes, I would like to respond to the previous caller.
Your name, sir?
My name is Christopher.
Christopher.
Using mechanized sort of methods in agriculture doesn't need acres, big acres. In Japan, nobody plows more than 2 acres, but nobody uses a hoe. Let him scale up, please. Thank you.
Good example there. In Japan, you can do 2 acres with a tractor. Well, some people have been saying that you can actually have village cooperatives owning a tractor or even handheld hoes. I've been told the handheld hoe can do an acre in one day. So government could probably, some people have said, it costs about 3 million shillings. Government could create cooperatives and furnish them with some of these handheld hoes. Spectrum, hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir, your name?
Hello?
Hello, you're live on Spectrum.
Where am I doing it?
Ikali Sevamanya.
And already a super.
Oliku Kevajisa Radio one Mukwan. Spectrum, hello. Alright, well, this is Spectrum on Radio 1 tonight. Should government reintroduce cooperatives as a vehicle for poverty eradication and food security? We were expected to be joined by the Agriculture Minister, Tress, Bucyanayandi. He could not make it. Neither could the country representative of the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Mr. Alhaji. Jallow, that's why we're asking you to call in and talk to us whether you think government is doing enough to help poor farmers and what your views are, how this sector can be transformed. It's an important sector. About 4 million households involved in agriculture. We're going for a break right now. We'll be back. Then you'll be able to call in.
1, 2, 3, come on, we go, we go. Uganda Prince, we go. It's our time, we go. No matter what we go, we have to win, we go. We never stop, we go. We never rest, we go. We have to score, we go. Strong and better, we go. We go, we go. Uganda Prince, we go. It's our time, we go. We go, we go. Come and buy, we must win. We go, Uganda Cranes, 13th October 2012, Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. Uganda Cranes versus Zambia. Brought to you by FUFA and
MTN. Everywhere you go.
The Woolworths Quality Sale is now on. Get up to 40% off selected fashion clothing at Woolworths Metroplex Mall, Northern Bypass, Nalia, and Garden City Shopping Centre, Lower Kololo. But hurry or you'll miss out. Woolworths, the difference.
Open an ice-cold Nile Gold, but don't drink it just yet. Take a closer look. You'll see the rich golden color. Get closer still, and you can't miss the fresher aroma. But you'll also find something else. You won't see it, but you'll certainly taste it. The unmistakable, crisp, maltier taste that can only be crystal malt. It's what makes Nile Gold beyond the ordinary. And that really is the mystery of Nile Gold. Nile Gold Crystal Malt Lager, beyond the ordinary. Not for sale to persons under 18.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
Welcome back on Spectrum tonight. Should government reintroduce cooperatives as a vehicle for poverty eradication and food security? Remember, the World Food Program Day is supposed to be held this month, and the theme for this year is agricultural cooperatives as a key to feeding the world. That's this year's theme from at the global level. We were expecting to be joined by Honorable Tress Bucyanayandi, Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. He wasn't able to make it. And someone from the UN, that's Mr. Alhaji Jallow, the country representative in Uganda for the Food and Agriculture Organization. He could not come. So asking you to call in and tell us what you think the government really needs to do to help improve agriculture. Some of the things they've been trying to do. We had the plan for modernization of agriculture some time back, which was scaled down to the NADS. NADS is the National Agricultural Advisory Services, which has been heavily criticized. Now they are restructuring it to remove the provision of inputs to farmers so they can concentrate on advisory services. In the past, we had agricultural extension workers in the districts, so district agricultural officers who are empowered to advise farmers. Tell us what you think. How do we transform this important sector? Spectrum, hello? This is Spectrum, my friend. Your name? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir, your name?
Edmond.
Yes.
A moment, please.
Yes, please. Yes, AM? All right. It's another one. Well, government has been trying to do something. They've been talking about zoning these regions into places where each zone can specialize in what they do best. When you look at the figures, the Western Uganda produces more matoke than bananas than other regions. The Central region also produces a great deal of bananas. The North has a lot of cassava coming in, specifically sorority and beans. Spectrum, hello?
Yes, Edmond.
Yes, sir, your name?
I wanted to ask the other gentleman.
Yes.
Japan. Japan is in the first world. Japan's economy was second, now is first. And if you can see, we cannot afford buying new cars from Japan. We normally buy second-hand cars. So what I want to tell you, before we go to that step, I admit that we need those things are good for high harvest. But at the moment, we need to work as a team. Villages, we look like countries like India, Pakistan, they work as community, clearing the land. But they are moving. But when you say government should buy those things, it's government, our government's budget. It's in the deficit manner. So how can you expect government to just let us advise our peasants?
Why are you strongly opposed to tractors?
We had a tractor before. The NRM came in power, and most of guys were put the tractors. And on top of that, they also has to bring bricks, to be hired to bring bricks, what. So, the culture, because there's a lot of corruption within our community. So, let people just invest there as groups. That's where they will get some money from buying, taking their children to school. But if you say that government brings these things, it's upon us to work on it, not look at the government.
So, do you think if people came into cooperatives, they can have those tractors? Well, it seems we've lost you there, but you can still call back in. Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, your name?
My name is Peter.
We can hardly hear. Please switch off your radio.
My name is Peter.
Peter,
I like the comment somebody gave about empowering the farmers. I think that's a good idea. You notice that I think 80% of our country are mostly rural people, and I would say they're the poorer people. I think we need to put our money where our treasure is. Our treasure is in the land. We need to actually change from doing, what I call the businesses between the town, the taxis, and all that. If that's where the money is in the land, let's focus on it. Put money in it, empower the farmer, bring them out of darkness, bring our farmer out of darkness. Let them know what the world is like. What is the world stage like for a farmer? What if I produce? What will I get? Let's bring real good education for farmers. Bring them into the light. Let's not take them cheap education. Actually, the riches are all in the cities. The riches are with a few people. So the farmers end up being like servants to us. So what kind of farmers are they? Yet in America, in the prairies, the farmer is the rich man. We've got to change that balance. As long as the farmer is just a poor man digging, we will not get an agricultural society.
Peter, what's your view Peter, in the US, which is there are about 6 million farmers or thereabouts, but these are people who hold large tracts of land. Here we have mostly smallholders. 51% are smallholders.
What I'm trying to say is that the farmer there is a very knowledgeable person. We need to bring more knowledge and light to the farmer's mind, bring his good education, because he's not taken advantage of. So that the 90 is in the 80% and not in the 10% who are in the city managing everything. I think we need to change that. It's going to really empower our country.
Peter, thank you for calling in. Spectrum, hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir, your name?
Good evening, Edmond.
Good evening, your name?
This is Kizito.
Claudia, yes?
I would like to maybe it's really unfortunate that the minister has not really success. Not even sending someone from his office. It's really amazing. But for the topic today, I would think that the government should have to understand that Uganda is subdivided into 4 equal parts. You have the north, east, west, and south. Such areas, they have different environment. They have different soils. They have different, crops that can, do well in those particular areas. If you look at the Malala, they are very good at growing banana. And even the people here. Some areas in the west, they are very good at growing apples. If you could, arrange, some good, people that are well educated in farming, and they sensitize these people how best they can, organize themselves in growing these types of crops, depending on their environment and even the soil they have in that particular area. And then they educate them on how best they can, the seasons they have, such that they don't fly in the market. But you could find that they are, when you go in the market in the time of tomatoes, tomatoes everywhere, they are like as if they are flowers everywhere. If it is pineapple flowers. So now if farmers are sensitized and, they produce particular crops. Maybe in the West, they are specialized in growing banana, and they even have a cattle. We are getting milk, we are getting banana from that particular area. Then from the side of these people that are growing tobacco, they are also producing tobacco, something of the sort. Something that, farmers at the end of the day, they come out with something profitable, something that can use, to enhance themselves and to develop themselves out of farming. But it is amazing today. Government should wake up and help you. Thank you.
Claudius, very good. Thank you for calling us. Spectrum, hello.
Hello, Edmond. I'm back again. My name is Grace Musmami.
Yes, Grace.
From the Farmers Media Group and Agricultural Journalist Association of Uganda. I'm glad that people have been calling in. Apparently, it is, I would like to apologize on behalf of the Minister because I'm part of the National Organizing Committee for World Food Day, which will be held next week on Tuesday. I would wish to tell people what is happening. While we are trying to, amidst the discussions that are coming up, World Food Day is on Tuesday, and it's going to be held at Mbarara Zonal Agricultural Research Institute, which is called Uganda, which is another station. And it's organized by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So the event will be the minister has not been able to turn up because of commitment, and you are aware we just had the Jubilee. He had committed to be in today. The name of the National Organizing Committee, I don't think it's a deliberate move by the Minister of Agriculture not to turn up for this talk show. And they are trying to have quite a number of activities part of the organizing of the Jubilee. But my request is, while many of us want to talk about improving agriculture, we need people to turn up for this event. This event that is going to be in Mbarara is going to be the showcasing of what cooperatives can do, the few cooperatives that are existing, how effective are they being. We expect quite a number of cooperatives from all over the region, including the Bucyanayandi cooperative, which everybody has heard about. And we expect the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency, Yoweri Museveni, to be the chief guest on this memorable day on Tuesday. So I need a call because many people want to know about cooperatives and know if they can be easily revived. The owner to revive cooperatives does not only lie on government, does not lie on the ministry, does not lie on UN. I think it lies in the hands of everybody. Every Ugandan has the opportunity to empower the farmer, to group farmers into cooperatives, to advise. And that is why we are calling upon everybody to turn up on this day.
Well, Grace, you volunteered quite some information and we're grateful for that. You volunteered some information and we're grateful for that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And Spectrum, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir, your name?
Edmond?
Yes.
You cut me off.
Sorry, Jimmy.
I'm the son of the farmer, by the way. And therefore, this is a talk show I should fit in.
Yes, Jimmy.
One, I wanted to answer two questions. One, somebody is calling from the comfort of Entebbe and thinks we don't care or we don't remember. But I want to tell you that Nagongera used to have a stopover of a train. The train that used to move from northern Uganda would stop in Nagongera to pick cotton. Now, if you're in Entebbe and you think it's comfort for you, when the peasants are not, sorry. Now, back to what somebody was saying, that we care as the government. It's for me and it was discussed as so-called elite. How much budget goes there? Edmond, you and me know it's minimal, it's not meaningful. But the last thing is one. educate your kids and tell them they have to liberate themselves. Good evening.
All right, Spectrum, hello.
Alex in Bali.
Alex in Bali, you're welcome.
What I would like to say is that, farmers need to be empowered with she talked about mechanized agriculture, especially those small tractors. If they have huge land, that's supposed to cultivate. Secondly, what is important for any farm is consistency in the prices of their products. Once they have trained themselves for over 3 months, they need to sell these products at a price that will assist them to educate their children, to buy a new clothes, to buy something new. But right now, these prices are just, if there's a bumper, there's a low payment, etc. So the cooperatives are needed to provide these basics. Thank you so much.
All right, well, listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio 1 tonight. On Spectrum, should government reintroduce cooperatives as a vehicle for poverty eradication and food security? We were not able to be joined by the Minister of Agriculture. I've already said that, and the country representative of the FAO of the United Nations. So we're asking you to call in and tell us what you think. Some important facts regarding agriculture: about 4 million households are involved in agriculture. That comes to around about 80% of the population. Information is a problem. Most information comes through radio and farmer-to-farmer exchanges, and that's not very, very reliable. Sometimes you can call in our numbers 0414-348-111, 0312-260-390, 0312-261-390. Yes, Max.
You say I would like to employ a slogan, which is very popular in the agriculture sector, that the government visits the farmer in the form of subsidy. That is the slogan that I want to run my arguments on. Now, we have talked about mechanization of agriculture. And I think the private sector has tried to play some role. I can see a number of machines, and I've tried to visit a number of individual farms, and I'm seeing slight elements of some bit of irrigation, mechanization, and improvements, and so forth and so forth. But what about the ordinary farmer, the ordinary the ordinary peasants? When we talk about reintroducing cooperatives, I think it is a fantastic move. Because the only hope of the the peasant, the small farm, who uses a kakumbi to dig and cultivate, is authorized in these cooperatives. Because you will agree with me today that the system of farming today has changed. It has a number of hiccups which have hit the farming sector. Number one, soil degradation. The soil of today is no longer like the one we used to have 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you could just plant beans, no fertilizers, no irrigation, you get a booming harvest. Today, the ordinary farmer still thinks in the same dimension, which is no wrong. That is why farmers are crying. Zero harvest, sometimes minimum harvest. One, the farmers of today need to be remobilized, need to be regrouped, need to be organized into cooperatives, such that these cooperatives who understand this new farming dynamics from a dimension of professionals, these cooperatives have agricultural advisors, they have subsidies, they have good information and advice to give to these farmers to use equipment. This will make these farmers farm in a modern way. But this business of you find an ordinary farmer in the village thinking in the longer way, planting things, no irrigation, no fertilizer, no research. At the end of the day, in one big acre, he gets half a bag of beans. It will go nowhere until we redevelop our cooperatives to run to the rescue of the minimum. Goodbye.
Interesting views. Also, they don't use a lot of pesticides. Some people have accused pesticides of having side effects, even though they help control disease on the farm. Spectrum, hello.
Hello, how are you, Edmond?
Very well, thanks. How are you, sir? Your name?
My name is Waifa Wycliffe. I'm calling from Kampala. I really want to talk about the issue about, just to put the record right, we've had issues where everybody thinks the employment of the agriculture sector is 80%. According to the recent budget, the recent report by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics on Agriculture, I think the employment in the agriculture sector has fallen to probably 68.5%. And once we don't have these statistics right, we get into quite some trouble. Thinking the agriculture sector is growing, while it's not growing economically and contributing to the GDP by 3.5, and we are celebrating, we should also be looking at an issue whereby the agriculture sector is having hiccups in how many people are staying employed in the sector. People are moving crossing to other sectors. And then I've been hearing people talking about issues to do with the peasant, calling the farmer a peasant. The word peasant has been here for over the last 2 years of our independence. And this is something that I really don't agree with. I would really agree with the gentleman called Grace who was talking about empowering the farmer. I really think we need to move to a level whereby we should stop referring farmers as peasants. These are the people who feed the nation, and they are really moving the nation to another level. You can't call them peasants. A hungry nation cannot move forward. What would you talk about the cooperatives? Apparently, I should be talking about 25 years back when we had the cooperatives and when we had the cooperatives collapsed. Today, we plan that by allowing too many non-government organizations to come in, things are issues for greater farmers in this country. You wouldn't expect a farmer working with Senegal to move into a cooperative set up by the Minister of Agriculture. The government does not own farmers anymore. The non-government organizations have taken over from the government. They've been allowed to have full access to these farmers. They are taking farmers for a ride. They offer extension. They offer them, and they give them conditions. Every non-government organization is doing something to the farmers, and they keep pushing them up. If we had a regulatory authority or regulatory framework which is able to check the non-government organizations, then this would be a way forward to make sure cooperatives are reinstated in this country. But as long as farmers are particularly attached to these non-government organizations, it becomes quite a problem for us to be able to talk about getting the farmers from the non-government organizations and turning them into a cooperative organization. I think we need to revisit our framework, our policies that relate to the farmers. The cooperative issue is not about the minister, it's not about the extension guys, it's not about you and me, it's not about the journalist, it's not about anybody, it's about the farmer. He's the person who has the key to reinstating the cooperatives again. We thank you for this show. Apparently it sounds like a one-man show, but you've handled it well, and it's very good to hear the people's voices coming out. And what people think. We really think that apart from waiting for one day, Spectrum should have quite a number of times.
All right.
A show that just gets in the voices of the people, not listening to what people are telling us.
Wycliffe, thank you.
But bring out the issue, what people want to hear, and then let the voices of the people come out. Thank you very much.
Wycliffe, thank you very much indeed. Obviously, it's not a one-man vision. The figure you gave, the 58.5%, refers to people who are directly involved with farmlands. That's about 20 million people. That's a correct figure. The people who depend indirectly on agriculture is a little bit higher. There are people involved in the agro-processing industry. There are people who are involved in trade. There are people who are involved in brokerages, agriculture-related brokerages. It rises a little bit higher than that. But those directly related to agriculture, it's 58.5. Spectrum, hello.
Edmond.
Yes, sir.
I think your show would have been good
Yes.
if you had a success story of a farmer in Uganda in the last 25 years giving an opinion, and then the peasant in court, as you have been accused. Good evening.
Jimmy, thanks for your thoughts there again. You can still tell us what you think. Our numbers finally 0414-348-111, 0312-260-390, 0312-261-390. Agriculture still employs the largest number of people. Some people live on it directly. Most farmers, actually about 51.5%, depend on live off small farms. Uganda is Africa's largest producer of coffee. Most of this coffee is grown on small holder farms. Most production comes from bananas. We produce more bananas, although most farmlands are actually under maize. Spectrum, hello. Oh, sorry, we've lost you there. You can still call back. Can we produce more bananas than other things? But Uganda is actually one of the largest producers of bananas in the world. Spectrum, hello.
Hello, good evening, Edmond.
Good evening, my friend.
My name is Wamboga.
Yes, Peter. Yes.
Edmond, you know how that matter is very close to my heart.
You should have called in much earlier, Peter.
Yes, Edmond, now I've just been able to touch base with you. But the issue of agriculture needs more attention than we is given today. The most important thing is, one, the people. The people should be at the center of policy, of research, and also of extension. The amount of investment by the state, and if any country that's in agriculture, needs a state-led agricultural development. Now, what should the state do? It should go to give money, investment, and policy making, moving a kind of bedrock of farmers in terms of cooperatives, for instance. The person who spoke earlier was right. The state should help in formation of cooperatives. Now, these cooperatives, ones that will develop agro-industries, there will be ones that will deal in processing, there will be the ones that will be dealing in trading of agro-produce and agricultural products. The countries that have industrialized began with agriculture, and then were able to industrialize agricultural production and put in machinery inputs like the tractor, and also moved from the hand hoe to intermediate technology like oxen, which is driven by bulls and donkeys and asses. Now, once we don't evolve into that intermediate and we move to tractor, by the way, for smallholders, it will not work. The technology we must see that will move from the hoe should be intermediate, driven by bulls, by oxen, and by animal traction.
Peter, you think we'll move from...
tractor.
Peter, if we move to a handheld hoe, it costs 3 million shillings. You think that's jumping the queue like this?
Edmond, we have had the handheld hoe. How much have we been able to move and move this economy higher than where it is today?
I'm talking about moving from a handheld hoe to...
50 years.
Can we move to a handheld tractor instead of a handheld hoe? Is that jumping?
Handheld tractor, but you see what goes into handheld tractor, how much does it cost? It needs fuel.
3 million shillings?
Repair, it needs maintenance. It needs sustainability in terms of equipment and input of machines.
Suppose it's owned by a village.
Bull, which grazes on grass. Asses, which graze on grass. They don't need fuel. They just need to be cared as they are being cared today, but we need the state to put in money to stock farms around the country which are regional based.
Right.
And we see the movement of these bulls and donkeys and asses.
All right. So
we also see industries developing at small scale by people who build these machineries, like the oxen, the plows, and also the spare parts for plows, and we shall see welders doing this work and maintaining them, and we shall see an industry growing around that kind of technology.
All right.
Lastly, Edmond.
Yes.
In terms of research, the state must put in money. Today, the donors are the ones who play a bigger role in funding research. The state of Uganda puts in little. The infrastructure where the research goes on is indeed government buildings, but we need to develop manpower.
All right.
We need to innovate and have more resilient crops against climate change.
Okay, Peter, thank you. But maybe just before you go, well, we seem to have lost you. I would have loved to know why you think government should actually reinvest in stock farms. They used to have them in the past, stock farms owned by the government as demonstration farms and other things. Also, micro research centers in those stock farms, also production centers for other things. Remember, at one time, the government also ran supermarkets to provide essential commodities that were rare during the difficult days. We have to go. Thank you very much indeed to all of you called in. Our guest is not come, Honorable Tress Bucyanayandi, Minister for Agriculture, and Alhaji Jallow, Country Representative for the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Thank you very much indeed to all of you who called in. I've been your host, Edmond, Kizito Spectrum. We'll be back tomorrow. Up next is the news in English.
Bank of Uganda informs the public that it